Can you imagine being ghosted by your own parents for 5 long years, only for them to resurface demanding to meet the grandchildren they didn't even know existed? It's a gut-wrenching betrayal. But the real shocker? What finally made them disappear, and what it all came down to in the end, was even more unthinkable. My husband and I were soulmates, truly. He used to be my boss about 9 years ago. I was his assistant, and for 2.5 years, we played it strictly professional, trying to ignore this undeniable pull between us. But eventually, we just couldn't. The moment things crossed that professional line, we went straight to HR, got me reassigned. Everything was done by the book, completely above board. A little over a year later, life threw us a curveball. I was pregnant. We hadn't been dating long, maybe a year and a half, but we knew. We knew we loved each other. We lived together, and now a baby was on the way. So we decided to get married.
Fast.
I knew how it would look to some people, but honestly, we were just ready. My job situation even worked out. I had to leave the company anyway because of issues with my new boss, so there were no workplace complications. The real challenge? My parents. They were in their 60s, always incredibly overprotective. I hadn't even told them I was dating my boss, because I just knew they wouldn't approve. But if I wanted them at my wedding, I had to tell them. So we sat them down, trying to be as honest as we could. We explained it was professional, then it wasn't, then HR, then how we were in love and wanted to get married. What we didn't tell them was about the baby. I was only 4 months along, and honestly, giving them all that at once? It felt like it would be too much. The bump was easy to hide. The wedding day itself, it was beautiful. Or at least the ceremony was. My mom did pull me into the bathroom right before I walked down the aisle, asking if I was sure about this. I told her I was. And I really thought in that moment that they were taking it okay. The ceremony and reception were at 2 different venues. We finished up, everyone started heading over, but my parents, they never arrived. My phone started ringing with calls from guests. I called them, over and over, and got nothing.
Blocked.
Ignored. My brother eventually got through. They told him they were going home. The reason? Something about being tired and uncomfortable. Tired? Uncomfortable? On their daughter's wedding day? My own parents just vanished. After that, I tried to reach out, but I was blocked on everything: social media, calls, texts, everything except email. So, I poured my heart out into a long email, basically saying, I'm an adult. I made an adult choice. I hope you can respect that. 5 years. 5 years of absolute silence. My husband and I aren't huge social media people, but for our 5th anniversary, I posted a little update. Just a happy family photo, mentioning our 2 amazing kids, and, surprise, a 3rd on the way. Within a month, the phone rang. It was them. A voicemail, saying they'd seen the post. They had no idea they had grandchildren.
And now?
Now they wanted to meet them. After 5 years. I didn't respond. But the follow-up calls and messages started rolling in, asking why I was ignoring them. Can you even believe the audacity? My gut instinct screamed, too little, too late. This isn't about me or respecting my choices. It's about their grandkids. But then my brother, bless his heart, he reminded me of that email. The one where I said if they could eventually learn to respect my choices, we could talk. He thought I was being unfair, retroactively putting a time limit on it. A part of me wondered if he was right. So I agreed to talk. Yesterday, actually. We were on Zoom within an hour, me, my husband, and my parents. They immediately asked to see the kids. I looked them straight in the camera and said, they can see them eventually. But you have to earn our trust first. Now, before I tell you what happened next, here's some context. My husband isn't white. My parents are. I am too. And honestly, it never even crossed our minds that this could be about race. We just couldn't wrap our heads around why they'd want to meet our mixed-race children if racism was the issue. They started by reading this letter. A letter they claimed they'd written on my wedding day. It said they were uncomfortable about me marrying my former boss, believing he'd taken advantage of me. That discomfort, they said, was why they left the reception. To avoid a scene. They wanted me to know they were there for me, despite their reservations about him. They even had the nerve to say they'd planned to send it the morning after the wedding, but my email about respecting my choices made them so ashamed they couldn't bring themselves to send theirs. Seeing my anniversary post, they claimed, made them realize how much they'd missed and they didn't want to miss anymore. I had so many questions. Why were you so against him? I asked. Their answer? It just wasn't what we had in mind for your wedding day. For your future spouse. That's it. No real explanation. So then, I hit them with it. Why did you even come to the wedding if you didn't support the marriage? That's when my dad piped up. He said he wanted to walk his daughter down the aisle. It was the only chance he'd get. And the way he said my daughter, he wasn't looking at me. My husband caught it too. It hit us like a ton of bricks. He was talking about my older sister, who passed away. He'd walked her down the aisle in his head, not me. It became sickeningly clear. They had only come for that moment, fully intending to ditch us afterward. My husband, bless him, he didn't hold back. He looked at them and said, if you're talking about her, address her directly. And if you plan to leave, you should have told us. We wouldn't have invited you. His voice was tight with frustration. 5 years of silence. And now you suddenly care because we have kids? As a father, I cannot fathom ignoring my own daughter for that long, or only reaching out when grandchildren enter the picture. And that's when my dad snapped. He lost it. He yelled something, a racial slur, aimed right at my husband. It was ugly.
Disgusting.
My mother immediately tried to jump in, to do damage control, but I didn't let her. I just ended the call. No warning. Just click. Since then, they've been blowing up my phone with messages, trying to explain it away. Oh, his use of a racial slur wasn't indicative of a racist attitude, they argued. And the kicker? He wouldn't have said that in front of the kids, so they should still get to meet them. Can you believe the twisted logic? For 5 years, I agonized over why they were so offended by my marriage that they'd cut me out completely. Half a decade of wondering, hurting, blaming myself sometimes.
And now?
It's finally clear. The relief, in a twisted way, is immense. It wasn't about him being my boss. It wasn't about our age difference. It wasn't even about me not living up to their idealized vision of a wedding. It was about pure, unadulterated racism. If this had just been about my marriage, about their disapproval, maybe there could have been a path to reconciliation. I might have found some sympathy. But with this revelation, with the truth of their hatred laid bare, it's not just about me anymore. It's about my children. My beautiful, mixed-race children. And there is no way I am going to expose them to that kind of venom. Not ever. So, I'm just wondering, what would you have done in my shoes? Have you ever had a moment where everything you thought you knew about someone just shattered? I really want to hear your thoughts on this. Please let me know in the comments below.